Not in Dundee, though.
I'll stop there because we started recording as we're talking about something we can't talk about on the channel.
We can't.
No, we can't. But I am absolutely shocked and horrified by
Why
it.
can't we talk about it?
Because we can't. That's the end of it.
Sex crimes.
No, we're not talking about
Not
it.
our sex crimes, obviously. Just Scottish sex crimes.
Horrific shit that's going to give me nightmares.
We're
now.
a small country. We will punch above our weight with perversion.
Jesus, do we
Blair
not?
Gowrie's the more sex pests. It's like the home of sex pests.
I've heard this.
You know how a place gets a name for acorns, or there's a town in England that's all about forced rhubarb.
Yeah.
Blair Gowrie is
Sex pests.
sex criminals and sex pests.
Dude, we
What's
should...
Dundee? Valium. It's Valium.
It's Valium at the moment.
Okay.
I am still coughing. Still got this cold
Well, I
thing.
heard you coming in, and
Yeah.
I was, what I was actually going to do, I was
Yeah.
grabbing some nails,
Uh-huh.
and the plan was when you were in here, in the spider's web, I was just going to nail both doors shut and just leave you. See,
That'd be fair enough.
if in a week's time you were still coughing away, imagine
This-
the noise coming out of here.
This
after a week.
cough is meant to last for 3 weeks.
How do you know it's going to last for 3
That's
weeks?
what everyone's been getting. It's been going
I've
around.
not been getting a cough.
You don't get anything.
No.
You've not had COVID or anything, have you?
Let's not talk about the cough,
Eh?
please. You know, this episode is sponsored.
Oh no! Wait!
but,
Wait! You've had it. What? Like 3 times? No. I know what's gone wrong here. You've had it 3 times, but you pretended you didn't have it once,
Just powered through it.
and that's where I get it wrong. Because you didn't get it when I had it, and
No.
when you were around everyone. That's what it
Yeah.
was. But I remember you
But
got
I
it.
am
And you
so-
swore blind you didn't have it, and
No,
you
I've not-
still
I've
said,
not.
"Oh, I
But what I do is when I'm around you, I'm like a frog.
oh,
Is it nictating membranes
I don't know."
in the eyes? But my whole system just shuts down from you
Okay.
because across the table from you, I'm like the Berlin Wall. There's none of your germs are getting through my.
Should we phone
Pause.
each other before we do a podcast to decide what we're wearing?
No, who gives a fuck?
Because we're
No,
I
don't be-
don't like we're
You're
matching.
not. We're not at the bloody British Soap Awards. Who
I
cares?
feel that's we're at
This
that level.
episode, by the way, is we've got sponsorship.
Uh-huh.
Paula,
Yeah.
fan of the show,
Yeah.
and Alan,
Okay.
our beloved. Alan's been told by the doctor he's got high cholesterol.
Okay.
So I got a shipment of cheese and hams.
Oh.
So this show is powered largely today, not on your side of the table. My
Well,
side of the
I
table,
see that.
by a
It's
lovely-
50%.
rich. So there was some goat's cheese in there.
Oh.
There was some lovely hams, charcuterie,
Oh.
delicious.
You shit on a what?
Charcuterie,
What's that?
meats, just meats, mate. Don't worry about it.
I've never
Stuff
heard that word in my life.
stuff you don't eat.
No, I don't.
But it's
I don't.
very fancy stuff because it was all
So
very fancy.
on
None
that
of these,
side,
none of these own labels fool Paula.
we're sponsored 50% on that side by meat,
This is cheese and meat.
cheese and
We're
meat.
sponsored by Paula's Meat. Alan's
Alan needs
delicious
some
meat.
Vitalite.
Alan's delicious meat.
Get the.
He's no get last. You can't give up cheese.
No,
He'll try.
I
but
was
he won't.
okay till about 45, and then I ate cheese,
Mate, you
and you
weren't-
just stop shitting.
You weren't okay. But what I would suggest to Paula, get a big torch and some kind of hammer. Bed in a
Uh-huh.
sock. Because through the night you'll hear the little
Oh,
and it'll be
you're
Alan
gonna-
doing eating cheese.
It'll be like a cheese slice.
My
God,
granddad had
count them.
My granddad had health problems and he was told you've got to stop eating cheese.
Okay,
And he just had cheese on toast every night before he went to his bed.
all right.
So
It doesn't.
he continued.
Continue.
The one that gets stopped him.
It does happen.
Yeah.
So okay, thanks for having 50% sponsorship where I
And as well,
I lose apparently.
Just to warn you, I made a delicious large batch of Jerusalem artichokes.
if you fart in here,
And mate,
no,
I
swear to God.
farted on the way down here at the bus at the crossing, and somebody else smelt it. An outside fart. I could see somebody coming
It
down.
was viscous.
Jesus.
No,
There was
I
a fire
saw-
at the top of my street.
What did you do?
No, a junkie woman
Yeah.
had been locked out of her flat, maybe with the police. She didn't have a key. So she smashed her way into her own flat and set it on fire.
Oh. I'm on the verge of that myself now at the
I've
moment.
just had enough.
I've
I
had
was
enough.
at work the other day.
That's
Listen
what,
to
I've had enough.
this is what it's become. Well,
Okay.
I was speaking about this with colleagues of mine.
Oh God.
The ones that speak to me and the ones that I
Okay.
speak to. There's
Okay.
a
There's at
small
least 3.
small percentage of them any good. Anyway,
Okay.
the it's about people getting better or worse.
Okay.
There's a theory that folk are worse now, or people are better. I think they're less evil generally. People have got more, and when people have kind of got, when you're no desperate, you've got room for hobbies and to be kind of nicer.
I agree with that. I agree.
What COVID has done something terrible to us. We've become kind of pathetic. And an example of this, I was at work, and a guy came up to me. Now I'm at the work. He goes, "Could you hand me a tissue?"
What?
And I goes, "A tissue?" He goes, "Hand me a tissue." I says, I have no tissues." He says, "Oh," I says, "You could go to the toilet." "Why would I go to the toilet?" he said. I says, "Well, there's toilet paper upstairs. You could use that if you needed a tissue." Okay, so he went away, came back. "Where's my wife?"
What?
He says, "Where's my wife?" I says, I don't know where your wife is." "Oh." And he wandered about again. And then he reappeared. And he's one of these guys, I can't stand them, that collect leaflets, brochures.
Oh, yeah.
There's no need for that anymore. If you have a phone, in the history of life, since the beginning of time, has any fucker collected leaflets and then used them?
I could tell you right now, don't invest in brochures, because I got them for one part of my business.
Yeah.
No one's taken one.
They're a waste of time.
Don't do it. It's a waste. Now, I got them for like several, it's like 1,000 for 20 quid. I got a really good deal, so I don't feel I've lost. But Jesus, don't get them.
It's like never, the days people read newspapers.
Okay.
People go, I'll set this
Or ate them.
I'll set this paper aside for tomorrow. You never read yesterday's newspaper.
That's a good point.
Never happens. Anyway,
okay.
So this guy's after.
You've got energy today.
I have. It's a meat. It's the meat
It's
charcuterie.
meat and cheese
So you've got
breakfast.
you've got the tissue incident, the lost
Right.
wife, and he's
Okay.
collecting brochures, and he comes up and he goes, he's got that face on him.
Oh, I know the
yeah.
face.
He says, this psycho map of Dundee.
Yeah.
I goes, He says, it's 2022. And he made a face. He says, have you not got 2023? I says, no. But I says, nothing's changed dramatically. I says, you'll be fine with the 2022. So he picked up, he goes, he says, I suppose I better get a bike now, eh?
What?
He was picking up a cycle brochure map for Dundee. He didn't have a bike.
This is insane.
And 3 in the trot. I was like, bang, bang, bang.
You're saying this, and I'm fine.
And he was a
shouldn't
guy
be shocked.
with a wife and a child.
Allowed to drive.
Allowed to drive.
Yeah.
He was well dressed.
Oh my
he
God.
He looked like he'd been on holiday. He'd a tan to him. What the fuck?
Now, since lockdown, you've said this has happened since lockdown. I've noticed something. I'll get a customer contact me with a link to one of my items. Nothing in it apart from the link, and will say, "Will I suit this?" Now you think that's one or two. I think I've had 50 of them. More.
Everyone's become like, remember the famous piece of footage of Mariah Carey, and it's her utilising her straw woman, and that's the woman that has to put the straw in her mouth.
Yes.
Well, we're all at it. I was my eBay shop.
Yeah.
I got this. I had a tiny pair, 2 sets of little ceramic shoes. The kind of shoes that a little Alan the mouse would wear. Little Alan when he's eating his cheese. Tiny little shoes.
Get off the cheese.
No, it's okay.
You're sweating cheese.
Sweating cheese.
God.
What I was doing with the soup, I was putting chunks of cheese in
Incredible.
the soup, heating up the soup, so there's little bombs of cheese through the soup. Anyway, on back to the little shoes,
Right.
little ceramic shoes,
Okay.
and they were in a little matchbox. They were so small, they were adorable. I had them for ages, and somebody contacted me and said, "Would you take such and such? Put an offer in for the shoes." And I've had them for a while, and they cost me next to fuck all. So I said, "Yeah, no problem." Everyone says, "Lovely." She says, "I'm going to use those, and I'm going to make tiny little pin cushions with them." And I thought, wonderful.
Okay.
So quickly, because I always, if we're not on eBay, I always get stuff sent the next day or the same day if they pay. early in the
Yes.
month.
Okay.
Take it seriously.
Wait 6 hours, people, if it's PayPal, because someone can reverse it.
Always get,
Just wait.
right, okay.
Okay.
And I get them sent away.
Okay.
And then they arrive quicker than I was expected. They were down in England, but they arrived the next day. It was wonderful.
Lovely.
A woman wrote to me and she says, I appreciate the speed of the service,
Oh, nice.
but I do not appreciate my phone number being in the front of my envelope. I think this is ridiculous. What are you going to do about this? She was outraged. And I'm like, what? She goes, yes, I don't like this. And I just took a screenshot of the address she'd given me with the phone number on it and sent it to her. And she goes, oh, yeah. And for her fucking feedback, she's written, a helpful seller. Kind of passive aggressive.
Well, you know what? I've had people.
That's weird as fuck.
Absolutely attack me.
Yeah.
How do I fit this thing? A belt. No, I'm not kidding. How do I fit it?
A belt?
Dude, if I had to go through the craziness that's been
how do you put on socks? Stuff
essentially.
Like
so this is ridiculous. For this money, I should...
You should fly over and fit
absolutely terrible stuff, right? It got here on this date, which was well within the time it was meant to arrive, actually well ahead of the time it was expected. Loads of complaints. Then they put in the review, brilliant seller would return. And you're like, people are all over the place.
Yeah.
They're all over the place.
I consider myself fairly even-keeled.
I'm going through a full-on breakdown at the moment. Well, so all my family thinks.
Physically.
No, mentally. I'll tell you why. I've had enough. And when I say I've had enough, I've kind of...
You hear through the wall.
And I would just go, I don't care anymore.
Yeah, okay.
There's this terrible sensation in me in not caring. And
I
was so...
Nihilism.
I was so... Well, no.
You're a nihilist.
Not nihilism.
Welcome to the club.
There's just a limit to care.
Yeah.
Right? So yesterday...
No, everybody... You're surrounded by a world of people who are main character syndrome people.
I'm not at the start of my...
You know what I mean? But I work with a person like that and they're fucking balmy.
Mm-hmm.
They have an ongoing, like, they speak... Oh, I'm going to pick up this pen. Nah, got a pen. I put it down again. Constant fucking never-ending monologue about everything.
Do you want to know how little I care?
Oh.
I have been surfing at Lunan Bay for 30 years.
Looney Bay when you were there.
Lunan Bay, yep. And it was one of the most special places, just wonderful.
Magical to you.
Yes. And all joking aside,
just a go-to place? You loved it.
If I had nothing to do, I would drive up there just for a walk. There's no waves. I always wanted to be there.
Clears the head.
I felt so done yesterday. Switched my phone off. Left my phone at home. Actually, just drove. This
is like Reginald Perry.
Yeah, I think my own family thought I was about to walk in the sea.
Did they help you park?
Yes. So anyway,
your mum's like that. There. Could you take this suitcase with you? You're like, mother, this suitcase is full of rocks. Just
rocks and an Xbox going out of the house. So I get there and I walk over the dunes and I walk along the sand. And I'm walking in a memory. I'm walking in a picture that I don't even want to see anymore. And I'm like, I'm done.
Oh no.
I don't care anymore.
Yeah.
And
is that not a little bit freeing? It's like going commando.
To other people.
Going commando is fine until you do a wet fart.
Breakdown because I'm saying things that maybe people don't like.
Oh no.
But at the same time, this tie to this place, and I'll tell you something right now, I'll never step foot in that place again. It's done. It's a past.
You're done with Lunan Bay.
I'm done. I'm walking in, not even nostalgia. I'm walking in just memories, and memories from so long ago. And there's nothing new. It's got nothing for me now.
No.
I can't surf because I'm injured. And I just went, you know what? I'm maybe going to have to come to terms that I'm no longer a surfer.
It's so much you're no longer.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
And you know what? Actually, you have this pressure. Put on myself that you've got to return to these things. Are you no
longer a prize breeding bull for the world government?
Those days are past.
Remember those days?
What I'm saying.
You ever seen those guys that just milk bulls? And they put the spunk into little...
Why does it always come to wanking
they put them in little
farmyard animals with you?
It's like
every conversation we have, it ends up with collected semen.
It's like Mariah Carey's straw, but if that was filled with bull semen.
So... everyone thinks I'm having a breakdown. It's because I'm finding it. When you have changes in your thought process like this...
This is maybe old age kicking in.
Yeah.
Could be.
What I'm saying is I'm maybe at this
I think it's supposed to happen in your 70s.
At this next stage of
Tony
life.
Bennett was going through a similar thing. No.
But I'm not having a breakdown.
No, you're not.
Everyone thinks I am because I took off to go to the beach. Okay, I should have put clothes on. That's fine. That's fine. But I just wanted to walk on the beach without a phone, without anything,
I
just
picture
on my
you
own.
just sitting having a shite, getting up, and just right out the house, shower, shite, out the house, and there's a bit of lavy roll sticking for you crack of your arse.
Oh, I thought you meant just going in one direction and never coming back.
No,
I've been on the verge of that several times. But the point is, I'm not. I'm just realising.
You better let me know, because getting a replacement for you's going to take at least 5
minutes.
6 minutes.
Listen,
Chris would come over.
here's what's happening.
Chris, are you ready? Get your passport ready, Chris.
I'm fine. Here's what's happening. Every birth is painful. It's just a change.
You've cast off your skin.
I'm just a change. It's
You're
just.
You're a beautiful little
I was
butterfly.
holding on.
A beautiful little butterfly.
You either contract into
a beautiful little
Listen,
butterfly.
I'm totally serious. You either contract into what you once were, or you blossom into what you're going to be.
Oh my God,
I
this
don't
is weird.
care.
Namaste, motherfucker.
Namaste.
Namaste.
All I'm saying is that I've got to let some things go, and I've had to do that. And on top of that, here's another thing. This is what gets on today's show, right?
Oh, there's a theme to this. Jesus Christ. Oh,
Right.
There's a lot. You didn't, there's some sand fell out of that, but you didn't write some poetry in Lunan Bay, did you?
How many books of poetry do you have? Tell the truth.
Many.
Yeah, exactly. I've only got one. I've only got one book of poetry.
It's pat.
And it's
written
and
with
it's
your own semen.
limericks. More
Written with
than
your own remember you used to make a secret code with lemon juice?
don't say what don't say what you
well.
yeah, I knew what you were
Yeah,
going there.
jizz as
I
well.
knew you were. So
Unless the cat licks it and then you're in
I'm
trouble.
looking at all the things in my life that I need to change. And there's one thing that
Here's one.
What?
Hair transplant.
I know I
Go
like
get
it.
it.
No,
No,
I
get-
like it.
Spend 10 grand of your money, get a full head of hair. You're a TV person now, kinda. No, not really.
No, not
TV.
really.
You're a.
What about your hair? You're convinced you have more hair than me.
I do have more hair than you.
You don't.
I don't have much hair, but
It's
more,
just
I've more.
you've allowed it to spread. I could do that.
I've more hair.
The problem with me is I've got this huge pattern in the middle.
Yeah, you look like a split gunt.
I've got the same haircut as the guy at
I
Death
saw
Wish
a
3.
gunt the other day,
Oh no.
and it was a triple gunt.
What?
It was a triple gunt.
Is that possible?
Well, I think there must
It's like
have
a
been
unicorn.
No, I think it was the split, and then there was a cross. I think it was a cesarean scar that created it.
Oh, now, I knew a girl. She was a bit chunky. But the way that her gunt had went, it looked like an 8-pack.
Yeah.
And she'd go around going, I've got an 8-pack. And everyone around her friends go, look how fit she is.
Maybe it was unborn children.
It was just, it looked like, you know when you get a pack of rolls?
Yeah.
It was like that under her t-shirt.
Flurry baps.
Yeah, but she didn't work out.
Yeah.
She was just fat, and the way that her split gunt went right up to under her boobs, it looked honestly like she this massive. But everyone said, look how good
I
she
was
looked.
passing the street the other day with a
Ridiculous.
one-legged guy in a wheelchair. There's a guy that goes about Dundee. He looks just unbelievable.
Is this the guy? He's very old. He pushes himself backwards.
No, this is a different guy. Dundee's got. That shows you. Dundee's got. You can
Many people with
many people in wheelchairs with one leg
pushing themselves backwards.
just going about.
Well,
It's like the Dodgems.
the old guy.
Uh-huh.
I worked at a taxi firm.
I think he might be dead now.
he might be dead.
Yeah.
And I was sent up because, like, I looked after the fleet.
Yeah.
I didn't said, do you want to make 20 quid?
Oh.
Just go and pick this guy up.
Oh.
Take him into town. I went, oh, no problem. It gets me out of the building.
Yeah.
So I drive up. Now, I didn't realise that none of the taxi drivers wanted to pick him up.
No.
They said, you knock on his door and you go in.
Oh no.
Because he'll get in his wheelchair and, you know, the whole thing. So I knock on the door's open. In you come, taxi. All right, no problem. Just be there in a minute. And directly in front of me, right, there's an open door and he's in the bath. It's one of those special baths. But he's in the bath with his Jack Russell. And they're both soaped up. I'll be 10 minutes. That's why no one wanted to go. Horrific. Stuck with me.
His one leg must be very muscular. All that driving himself about like a piston.
I don't know. I never looked in the bath. It was a tall bath. It was like he was sitting upright. Then you drain the water, then a door opened.
It's like that famous kind of guy on the flight, the giant fat man. He went to the toilet and shat him all over the place.
Right.
And then he made the air stewardesses clean up, and he was like screaming at them to get into all the crevices.
What?
He was a sex. He done it
Oh
on
my
purpose.
God.
But he's dead. But he's giant, like 50-stone fat bastard.
Just opened the door.
There's a new
shove
thing
him
now.
out.
Giant fat people want planes to be bigger because they're too fat to fit down the aisle.
Well, I saw something.
They're like wank panzers, giant fat people. The world can't accommodate them.
Well, not COVID. I watched the thing where it was these overweight people were saying, this car is too small for me and it's too... And the manufacturers were saying, no, the cars are bigger than ever. We're making them bigger for bigger people. It's just people are getting fatter faster.
They're getting ahead of the curve.
Yes. Because cars take years to design and then get out.
I remember as a woman in Glasgow and then try to get her to the hospital and her ambulance wasn't big enough. So they had to get an American-style ambulance because Americans are fat. So they needed this giant ambulance to get.
Do you know the American fat thing's only recent? It's only recent. I watched
It's
the thing about that.
processed food,
Processed
isn't
food.
You
And
see old photographs, kind of the beginning of Cheers.
Yeah.
They're all slim.
they're all slim.
It's processed
Watch
food, isn't it?
Soul Train.
Right.
Everyone's like super thin
Yeah.
and lean. No, it's a recent thing, the overweight thing, and it's what's happening because I think
It's-
Scotland's the third fattest
Yeah,
nation
we're
in
pretty
the.
bad.
I think it's Mexico, America, then Scotland, and it's the processed food. It's just
Yeah.
junk food.
It just
It's terrible.
yeah.
So we can say things about being fat because Scotland's just
Well,
we're
fat.
sinking.
Yeah.
We're a foot lower with the weight of
Just
everyone now.
giant. Just giant. If there wasn't for Polish people coming over, we'd just always be fat.
That's it. They're all fit.
There
and
was a
healthy.
thing on the TV this day, and they're saying, "Oh, we're in trouble, the care sector, because nobody wants to look after old people." So it's funny this. You pay people fuck all, and folk don't know what to do the job.
I don't know what the connection is. We'll have to look into this. That'll be one of our shows.
I know.
Okay, so on to what happened.
It's,
right?
it's well, when you go to the old folks' home in
Next
3,
week.
4 years. Oh no, 3, 4 years, mate. Don't be so bad to yourself.
Have you seen the old folks' homes? They're brilliant.
No, they're not, mate. They're full old folk.
Yeah, I don't like that.
It's not full of young. You don't walk in. It's full of like Swiss au pairs.
I don't know. I've seen films. I'm pretty sure
bet
it's
you've
like
seen
that.
Films.
So,
It's like Bella Ember.
you're obsessed with her.
Cleo
An
Rockus.
animal spunk.
Cleo Rockus.
Aye, Cleo Rockus. Yeah, that would
She's
be
dead,
alright.
but you like Bella Ember, by the way.
Oh, I thought you were
Blunder
saying.
Women.
Obviously.
Blunder Woman's dead, and so is the witch out of Grotbags is dead as
Oh
well.
yeah, she's dead. It was all that lead paint they put on her face.
Jesus, poor woman.
Okay, so I'm having a complete meltdown at the moment. Everyone's panicking around me. No one knows what to say to me or
I'm
think.
quite sanguine
Actually,
about it. I'm
everyone's-
not getting involved.
Everyone's been sort of ignoring me and acting weird around me just because.
That's a technique I've kept. Yeah,
yeah, just because
because people don't
I'm
realise.
going through a change.
You remember like famous double acts through history, like Abbott and Costello.
Yeah,
What's his name?
R2D2 and C3PO.
John Turode and Greg Wallace.
I don't know who they are.
Terrible people on telly, but they
Okay.
do their thing, but they never speak to each other outside the thing.
Like us.
That's like us.
No, wait. You do phone me regularly to shout abuse and then hang
That's
up.
material. That's my version of your
Oh
book.
right, okay. So, I realised I was looking at sort of the best way to analyse yourself is
Don't bother.
the best way to do it is read crap on Google.
No,
That's
don't bother.
any health
You
expert will
know-
tell you. Just read Google, you'll be
You've
fine.
reached the stage of your development. No one a
Okay.
gorilla just goes that.
Yeah,
That's it.
is that?
You're just picking through your own shite.
So
Carry on.
I realised I can't commit to anything.
No, you can't.
I do, but I don't.
Okay.
Right, okay. Here's an example.
Uh-huh.
And you know how I realised I don't commit to anything? Down in my studio, I've got a big pile of good stickers, but I'll never stick them to anything because once you stick them to something, that's it. It's done. Also, on the computer, is when I open some music, it says, do you use this app always or just once? I've never clicked always. That sort of commitment.
Oh my God.
I don't know how to go back, so I use just once.
You're like Elon Musk.
What?
You're basically like Elon Musk. That sounds very musky.
X.
Is that a joke?
No, it's becoming X. He tried this with 20 years ago with PayPal. He wanted to change it to X. Everything's X. Everything's X, and I think it's the only letter he can spell. Have you seen his kid's name?
I'll be honest with you. I think I might bail out of Twitter if it becomes X.
It's becoming X right now.
Is it happening?
It's happening today. Quite brilliantly, they were taking the sign down in the New York offices, but they didn't get a permit to do it, so it got shut down. So the sign's sort of hanging. The Twitter site. It's
I don't
wonderful.
want to be an X. It sounds crap to me.
X sounds.
X is like a 90s letter.
Well, the thing is with X doesn't have a meaning.
Yeah.
It's an amorphous it's a placeholder for anything.
I've noticed Twitter's
that's
become
suspicious.
unbearable because if you notice, it's maybe some of our followers and who they follow.
Tits.
But yeah,
Tits.
have you noticed?
That's all I've been getting.
Yeah.
And I spent hours looking at why would this particular
like a tweet.
lots and lots of fucking pictures I looked through to see what was going
It's
on.
Lolita 756293.
I didn't look at that one.
But it'll be that, and
It's-
they'll just why that didn't happen
No,
before. And all the crypto stuff endlessly.
Crypto,
Yeah.
but I thought, this is our followers. But no, we never had this
But
before.
he's thinking what he's thinking
Just
is
tits.
he's thinking it's going to become. I've heard this a lot, and it's
Okay.
true. The Uber is not a taxi company; it's a data company.
Correct.
So they're losing money on Uber,
Uh-huh.
but their plan is eventually everything's going to become Uber. You'll do everything through Uber. It'll be your banking system. You'll get your phone. Everything's going to be an Uber thing. And I think he's trying this with X.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be everything. And I just can't
I'm
see
worried.
it.
I see.
But there's not an alternative to Twitter. That's what's weird.
Well, there's Threads.
But I'm led to believe that's not particularly good. I've not joined there yet.
It's just that. Well, I couldn't join because it says my IP was blocked because it was.
Because of the stuff you
So, and then I went and checked it again, and I got in. I don't know what's going on. I think it was a glitch, obviously, but no, I've got that.
I don't spend
I've got
a huge amount
Derek
of time on
Findas
Twitter.
on it, but I've not posted.
I don't
anything
spend
yet.
a huge amount of time on Twitter, but I am on Twitter, and I liked on Twitter before you could kind of interact with celebrities.
Yeah,
There was a
I think that's gone now. I don't think anyone's.
no.
yeah.
So it's kind of what's the point of
It's
it?
broken. It's
Yeah,
very
it's
broken.
spoiled it.
But yeah,
He's
tits.
not a good
I
businessman.
couldn't.
But there's
get to sleep.
endless people who just fucking adore him. Like they
I
can't
don't
see that
understand
he's so
this.
shit. They just say, their argument, but have you built a multinational company? You're like that. No, but neither's Elon Musk.
Yeah,
He's never built a company.
he's never built anything.
Because he says PayPal was his, but I don't believe
No,
it was.
it wasn't his. Not at all.
No.
Not at all.
So he's not, for the ground up, he's not done anything.
I think
has
he was chucked out of its. Yeah,
Yeah.
he was thrown out of
That's
it.
before he had the hair transplant. Like you
Oh
get.
yeah, that's when he looked really scary.
Yeah.
He looked like one of those fish.
The fight's not happening, is it?
Oh, I'd love to see that. See, he's convinced though, because he's like 6'2" or something, and he's got weight behind him.
Yeah.
He's in a better weight class, so you'd kick the fuck out of Facebook.
He
guy.
will. He'll
wouldn't.
be like.
He
Have
wouldn't.
you ever seen Steven Seagal fighting with people now? And it's some paid Russian.
Yeah, and he touches them and they do a
the-
backflip.
They'll let him fucking punch him in the face. Can they?
That's terrible.
They let it
Apparently,
happen.
he was awful with the stuntmen. He
Yeah, he
would
used to
kick them
break-
in the
yeah.
face and that, and
Yeah, he's a
hurt them.
beast. He needs to have a miserable death.
Yeah, he will. He will.
Yeah,
He's a
because
piece of shit.
Gerard Depardieu, who in many ways is an utter piece of shit,
Yeah.
utter piece of shit, but he balked at the whole Russian thing. He says, "Nah, this is too much for me."
Yeah.
So he's backed off a lot of that shit.
Oh,
But
they're
Steven Seagal just kept on trucking.
Steven Seagal, the last thing I saw is that he was training special forces in Russia.
Oh, for fuck's sake!
He's like
He-
75.
He actually said during Hurricane Katrina, he said that the American military
Mhm.
helicoptered him in, and he came off a rope in New Orleans, landed there, and he was going about with ammunition, handing out fugitive justice to looters. And he's told that story to people. He thinks that's true.
He-
And there's people,
oh my
not many,
God.
but there's people that will believe him. It's like Elon Musk. There's people, whatever he says.
It shows you the nature of the man that in a time of a disaster like that,
he went there to shoot.
I would love to go in and just shoot people.
Yeah.
Isn't it crazy?
Wild, isn't it?
Isn't it crazy?
I remember watching him doing a thing where he said he's a marksman, but he was shooting things like you were the thing.
Yeah, I saw that.
Shooting the top off matches. He was like that. Oh, what a fucking cocksucker.
I saw him. He was.
Oh, I love that.
he
fucking
was,
piece of shit.
Oh, I'm really coughing.
Yeah, go.
He was training a policeman how to shoot, and then he went bang,
They weren't
and then he
policemen.
shot again,
They weren't policemen.
and he says,
They're sheriff's deputies.
Oh,
You
right.
and I could be a sheriff's
"Oh,
deputy.
that's different." Then.
Okay. If we were in America for like 6 weeks, we could join the sheriff's deputy
Just
department
be one.
and get a gun. I remember seeing a thing. A guy moved to Australia,
Right.
getting this escape down under.
Yeah.
He was a butcher, and he'd learned there was a lack of butchers in Australia. So he went to Australia to become a butcher, but it turned out butchers aren't paid any more in Australia than they are here. Plus, it's more expensive in Australia.
He thought he
So
was going to be a millionaire.
They went
butcher.
back 3 months later, and he was a fucking police officer, an armed police officer.
What, in 3 months?
3 months, and you know where
Amazing.
they'd put him?
Where?
Near the opal mines.
Oh,
He just
wonderful.
his patch was like 5,000 square miles,
He just go.
and all he ever saw was flies. That was it,
Oh, wonderful.
and he was loving it. He's loving it.
someone
Because he
like
had a
that.
gun.
Got a gun.
Just did it.
Pew, pew. So anyway, can't commit. So I'm looking through all these commitment things.
Are we doing 2 of these today?
We're doing 2 shows today.
Oh, fucking hell.
No, wait.
Remind me to get some juice for the second part.
The second show is going to be very different. I think I've designed it around you. I think you'll enjoy it.
Oh, you've designed it, have you? Okay.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
I found the one thing that helps with commitment
Mm-hmm.
in this world today is alpha male training.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Right? So I thought alpha male training. Now we talk about
That's
the
Andrew Tate
ridiculousness
stuff.
of alpha male and all this sort of stuff. But I don't really know the nuance of it.
It's a grift.
So I signed up for alpha male training for both of us.
But what? Who from?
Oh, it was just some site that I have to take a payment, but there's a way you get around it. It's so badly put together, and I was able to get access to everything. So, would you like to know how to be an alpha male?
Please.
Okay. So the first thing you need to do, well, I'll there's a little spoiler. It's awful.
Oh, no.
Right.
Fuck's sake, no.
So the first thing, what is an alpha?
It's basically a cigar. You get a cigar.
It's a cigar. All the comedians have cigars now. I know the comedians I hate because they have cigars.
Yeah.
1, you need a position of power. This is your goal.
A high
Position of
chair.
power. Have you put yours higher than mine?
No.
I'm checking. Comfortable with high levels of responsibility. 3, calls the shots. This is what's written in it, so this is factual. 4, being the most powerful, impressive person in the room. 5, ability to draw people in and have high levels of influence. 6, attract and have your pick of high-level women who respect your alpha position. This was all written down. Now, I think these 2 words put together, Power Master, is this a game system? But it says
That sounds like a cleaning product.
Power Master in bed.
Does that mean that's a 3-second fuckery? That's just
I
stick it in.
thought that
powering
meant going
through.
to sleep quickly and
Powering
having 8
through.
hours, which I've never had in 18 years. Okay, so we both need to be these things. This is how I'm going to do it and have commitment and all this sort of stuff and fix my life.
Andrew Tate, is he in jail?
No, he's in under house arrest.
And that Tucker Carlson went to interview him.
Yes.
And they just said a lot
And he was
of
just
talk.
licking his balls.
Is this
the
a
whole way
lot
through.
of talking points for the Russians? Because
Yeah.
they all think Russia's the alpha male dog.
Yeah,
the dog
they're,
pound.
they're going to be in for a shock. They're going to be
Yeah.
in for a shock.
Okay.
Now, the first one is conversational skills. So when you go into a conversation, you want to take...
They just go, shut up!
Come on, that will work.
Listen to me now.
That's an idea. But let's put that on the back burner for the moment.
That's what a beta male would say, back burner. I'm an alpha male. I don't have a back burner.
Oh.
I just go for it.
Can be aggressive and frightening is the same as alpha male. I don't know if it is.
That
So,
is.
congruent nodding.
Okay.
So, right, you may not have noticed, but through the start of the show, you've been saying something. I went,
Oh, Jesus.
right? It's had no effect on you because you pay no attention to me,
Uh-huh.
and that's your failing.
Oh, it's
You're making me. You're doing it wrong, right? I'm alpha mailing, but you're responding wrong, so it's your fault.
Okay. Oh, you were trying a little thing on me, were you?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm very bad. I don't listen to people at all. So
I can see that.
It's what I.
This can give the impression of empathy. The alpha can then take control of the conversation, but remember to listen.
This is just a side shoot from fucking those pickup artists.
It's the same thing.
It's the same shit.
If I think this is just put alpha
All those
on the
guys.
title,
Well,
it's the same thing.
That's before we found out. That's what Bald and Bankrupt did.
Yeah,
He's a pickup artist.
he paid prostitutes.
Yeah, but He used to go about everything he did. Yeah, but that's what his thing was, going up to women. And I don't even want to. I've heard some of it, but you go up to, is it not? You say a compliment and you go, "Oh, you've got lovely hair. Quite greasy today."
Oh yeah, the
It's
negging,
a
the
compliment and
negging.
then a thing.
I remember
It's horrible.
there was a girl I knew. She says, "I don't mind being degraded a bit and told what to do."
Uh-huh.
I went, "You're ugly. Get the tea on." She went, "You ruin everything." I thought it was being funny. She never mentioned it again.
No sense of humour, that woman.
My God.
They don't. Name one funny woman.
What?
Don't say Victoria Wood.
A funny woman?
Yeah. Writes her own material.
I don't know.
That's what an alpha male would say. See, you're already an alpha male.
I feel
Think about
embarrassed saying
Victoria
that.
Wood. Who else? Cleo Rockus was funny, but she didn't write her own material.
Joan Rivers.
Yeah, Joan Rivers.
Genius.
She's a big cock, though.
Yeah, but she was a genius.
Yeah,
I'd give her that. She was razor sharp. I loved her.
French and Saunders.
No, rubbish.
Always thought they were shite. Just
Rubbish.
a bit Hugh Laurie.
But I'm trying to think what man is funny that you just go, they're non-stop funny.
Say
I can't.
Connolly's funny. Naturally funny guy.
No, I never enjoyed it.
You never
no.
like Billy?
Now, I've said that to people.
Oh,
And this is like saying...
traitorous cunt.
Yeah, I know. I get this a lot. But I remember watching it going, I just don't get this.
No, it's just...
So...
Because you're dead inside.
Yes,
you're
but
like
here's what I'm
psychopathic.
going to put something to you.
Oh.
The men and women are equally funny, but here's the difference, right? Your exposure to male comics is a lot more. There's a lot more, and it's an accumulation of jokes and humour. It's like you'll remember so many jokes from The Simpsons,
I'm not sure.
but you forget a lot more.
You know me, I hate sport. And for the
Yes.
last week, it's been the Women's World Cup.
Is it?
Yeah,
Oh, that's
exactly.
cool.
But I hate football.
In
and
what?
I don't. It's football.
Okay.
I don't like football. I don't watch the shite.
Yeah.
But when football's on, they kind of just have it on.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of kind of shit about it, but they're pushing it and all this. But women's football, what's wild about it is, it's like they're almost like, you've got to watch this. You're duty bound to watch women's football, which is like second-rate men's football.
Right, okay.
But
I
it's
know
on
what you're
all
saying,
the
yeah.
time.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't understand it. And they're just endlessly going on about women's empowerment. And I think it's a shame because football's so caustic and unpleasant.
Yeah.
I feel bad that women are getting themselves involved.
Now they're caustic.
But I
and
noticed
unpleasant.
this morning, kind of always get, I don't know much about football, but you know this. The English football team, when they're winning, they're triumphant.
Yeah.
Like, when they lose, it's not their fault. There's always an excuse.
Mm-hmm.
That was their disease. They've always had the excuse. Turned on the TV this morning. England team, women's team hadn't done so well. The excuses have come out. Oh, they're a new team. They're this, they're that. You're like,
Yeah.
they've just they had a chance to make something different.
But
But it's
here's
just the same.
This is where I find it difficult, like in the World Cup or something like that. I don't know
Yeah.
about it, but we're lost because of this and
Yeah.
all these excuses, like you're saying. Only one team at the end of I don't know how many teams.
Yeah.
Going, there's only going to be one winner.
Yeah.
So you
Utterly
know,
pointless. The
I don't
Commonwealth
know.
Games. I think people are getting fed up with sport.
Do you think so?
I hope it goes. I hope as a species we just stop sport. I'd love that. If I could just do that, I'd say. an
To
end
be
of sport.
fair,
Imagine
I used to watch
a world without sport.
like Formula One,
of
in the
course you did.
90s.
No, I didn't watch that show.
but I'll tell you why. My friends did, so I watched it and I got
Peer
interested in
pressure.
it. Like watching a soap. You watch it and
I
suddenly
watched. I'd heard a lot about female beach volleyball.
Yeah.
I watched it and they were like athletes playing a game properly. I thought it was going to be more.
Athletes.
I thought it was going to be a more
Disappointed.
ponderous, lingering. But then I found the sport.
Don't
which
use
I love.
those words.
Then I found a sport I just love:
What?
speed climbing.
Oh, that's amazing.
You know what I'm talking about.
That's good.
It's the greatest sport ever.
Well,
I might go and see that.
I don't know if I'm getting anything from it like you do.
Oh
but-
no, the technique's wonderful.
Oh my God.
It really encouraged me to go a climbing wall, not to climb the wall.
Just to stand at the bottom watching.
Catch a sweat.
Oh my God. You're in one of these moods today. Have you put your hormone patch
No,
on?
I'm just.
Jesus.
It's just football. But now here's the thing as well.
What?
This is what an alpha male would say.
Right.
Because we're alpha males. This is what they say. How come in men's football now
Yeah.
you've got to have a female commentator along with the men?
All right.
But in female football, there's no male commentators. It's all going to be women.
You imagine
Alpha males would not
Think
let
about
this happen.
a male commentator
Just wonderful.
just going, oh.
Because what would happen when there was four women there speaking about the sport, if there's a man there, they'd all just turn and listen to what he had to say.
It's because
But you're right.
Everything's politicised, man.
Yeah.
Everything's
It
politicised.
is. Yeah, that's what I'm trying to say in my clumsy way.
That's all it is.
I've nothing
And
against
it's
women's
nonsense.
sport.
Yeah, it's the
but what I'm saying is,
politicising
it's
of
all
everything.
politicised. It's like, this is empowering. You're like, can it not just be? We grew up. My favourite one of my favourite films is Aliens. It's fucking Sigourney Weaver's the greatest action star I've ever seen. Just
Yes,
fucking
I agree with
superb. And not once did anybody ever say, "Oh, it's so empowering for women." But it's so cluttered
But
with stuff.
here's the problem.
Have you seen the trailer for The Marvels?
No, I haven't. Is it?
Because it's caught up in itself. Just make a good film. I just don't know what's happening to people. It's so strange, and it just creates this.
Well, here's a question for you.
Uh-huh.
What is empowerment? Is that not an amorphous word that can be?
Yeah, it's a bollocks. It's a corporate term. Yeah, it's a corporate term,
and it means something different to everyone. So you can never. Succeed in
there's
it.
a theory that the only reason you had, well, what contributed and helped Obama being the first black president was Forrest Whitaker playing presidents. When you have something on the telly, it manifests it. It's, you know what I mean?
Well, life does imitate art. That's for sure.
It makes it people would never have considered a black president, but they kind of did some work from it. It's almost a propaganda, I suppose.
Oh yeah, I know
a
what
good
you're
thing.
saying. Yeah,
But everything's so it's weird, and every film that comes out is just this. They're making a big Barbie. Barbie is the dumbest film you'll ever get to see. It looks like a load of fun.
yeah.
It's pink. It can't
fine.
be nonsense. Great, but there's a war going on about it, and there's some people they want it to succeed as a political thing. The success of Barbie hinges,
And then I saw people saying
people
Barbie should be
against it.
banned.
Yeah.
It's disgusting. And
it's a
just,
silly film about a doll.
There's just bad actors in the background,
Everything.
bad players.
It's you and I as a normal people just fuddling about looking for something good to watch, and then there's just these bad actors, and they're on both sides.
Oh yeah, on both sides.
There's if you ever
one
watched
and the same.
Navarra Media,
Okay.
Navarra Media is a kind of left wing thing, and a lot of the stuff I kind of believe in. It's Ash Sarkar's in it. You know the woman I mean?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
There's GB News. There's a thing called. And there's a guy called Lee Anderson, and Lee Anderson's a Tory MP in this country. Call him 30p Lee, because he said people could live on 30p a meal, 30p meals. You know. He said a poor family would have to have cooked 150 meals, like a batch, like a canteen,
Right.
to feed themselves. Okay, he's got a show on GB News where it's just him. He's a fucking moron, and he's on there spouting utter nonsense about everything. And he has terrible Vicky Michelle from Allo because she's a bit Brexity.
Yeah.
Some guy, Duncan Marvell or some comedian from the 80s. But then he has this guy on from Navarra Media. Now, the Navarra Media is considered quite out in the left. Why is it's like podcasts, they're all pollinating each other.
Yeah, they don't care.
So you're on this show to score points.
They don't care. Yeah.
So he's on the show, and then he can then do a thing saying, Lee Anderson's an idiot. Look at me tearing him apart. And Lee Anderson can use that material and go, look at this woke piece of shit. Look how up his arse he is.
Yeah.
And it's not helping any fucker.
No. Here's
Again, that Tim Pool thing.
Yeah.
The lassie wanted him.
Yeah.
What good has she done?
right.
She's
I
there
agree.
going, Tim Pool's an idiot, and Tim Pool's like, you're an idiot, and it's not changing anybody's mind.
This is what it is. Now, in a perfect world, politics and that it has to have an end goal.
Yeah.
But what's happened at the moment?
There's no, yeah,
politics
right,
is just it's about fighting. It's about making money.
Yeah.
It's about
Well, political discourse is about the Prime Minister's country says we'll get put an end to woke banks. Banks are the least woke thing you've ever
they
seen.
don't give a fuck.
They're the
They want
companies
money.
they take your house.
Yeah.
There's nothing nice about them.
And using
They're
this
necessary
word
evil.
woke,
Yeah.
it's like
So politics, the leading political elite in this country are just speaking about nonsense. Nobody's been able to fully. What is woke? What does woke mean?
But this exactly. But this is the whole nonsense. You've
It's
got
sound
jangling
bites, yeah.
keys in
Yeah.
front of you, and you're ignoring the
worst,
fucking
you know what the
disaster
worst
that's
word
going on.
in YouTube videos is destroyed. I destroyed them.
Destroyed.
How?
Well, I saw Tim Pool clips of him destroying that girl and then her destroying him. And it was
I think he did I think he, in a debate, she's smarter than him. She got the better of him.
Yeah.
But that doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter.
To his followers, she just sounds like an uppity bitch.
Yeah, just full of shit. And it's
and nothing gets achieved. And nobody's coming up with a solution.
Nobody wants a solution.
I've not heard
Nobody wants a solution.
There's been nothing done properly in this country since the fucking Channel Tunnel. I think we uncovered something there. Did they find some gas?
Gases come into the country.
We're capable of so much.
Agree.
It makes me so sad. And there's people quietly going about great acts, and everything else is too busy speaking about absolute dog shit.
But then, with things like YouTube and stuff like that, we're starting to believe that social discourse is Tim Pool.
Yeah.
Political and social discourse is them.
Yeah.
It's not.
He's a political
Go talk to someone in the street. They don't know who they are.
He's a political figure. Yeah, you're right.
They don't know who they are.
I think social media, you think Twitter's the world, and Twitter's just, the beliefs on Twitter's nothing. Nobody shares it.
This is the thing.
Yeah, it's intoxicating.
So what you do is you divide and conquer.
Yeah.
Right? Men against women. Go and walk down the street here. That's not happening.
Alpha males like us against the beta males.
Yeah, stuff like that's natural. But do you know what I mean? This huge divide in real life is not happening.
But
it's not happening in my personal life. It's not
I'm not conspiratorially minded.
Mm-hmm.
But I do think it sells. It definitely, anger and animosity.
Appealing to the lowest common denominator is an old technique.
But you've got this wild situation with YouTube. They want people to be angry.
Yeah.
And if you see anger and you watch anger and it annoys you, it gets under you. I get annoyed by people. I shouldn't know who the fuck they were.
But that's what you're clicking on, anger.
And then they're using that to then sell stuff to you.
I'm going to give you
advertising.
a little thing
But
here.
then the companies are all trying to, they need to appear like they're decent. So they're all doing, we better sponsor the Women's World Cup. And the whole thing's just, it's biting its own.
Yeah, that's right. And it's all nonsense.
Yeah.
I'll give you a little tip here.
Right.
You said anger.
Is it like the sellotape one I told you on the ball?
That's pretty good.
Okay.
It's not anger.
No.
It's frustration.
Yeah, it is frustration.
Anger, you can deal with. Anger, you can punch a table. Anger,
throw
you
a
can
petrol
swear.
bomb.
You can do something. Frustration sits there.
Just stews.
It's a burning, bubbling bile in your gut.
But I'm guilty of this myself. You see somebody like Nigel Farage, I hate them. I don't like the man. And if somebody's a big fan of Nigel Farage, fair play to you, fair play. But I've said to my dad, Nigel Farage is on my list.
Okay.
And that's if I see people in the street, I'll kick them in the balls.
Kick them in the balls.
And my dad says, you can't really kick them in the balls. I said, I'll kick them in the balls. And he says, but you go to jail. I said, yeah, but a lot of the country would just love me.
Yeah.
A lot of the country would
you'd
just
come
adore.
out and write a book.
Yeah.
You're
Somebody
fine.
would help me.
That's
Somebody
right.
would help me. But so I'm like everything else. You've got that mob mentality. I'm wanting him to fail. I'm wanting him to be not killed, but destroyed.
Okay. Now, I've always said...
And then when someone is destroyed, it's like we're treating human beings like it's like buyer's regret. You remember you'd go into a shop and buy something, and the nicest moment is when you buy that item and you get it home. The minute you start using it,
I don't care.
That's how we're treating people's lives. We're building people up in the media. We're destroying them. And when they're brought down, it doesn't feel particularly good, but we're immediately looking for the next person to destroy.
Right.
Well, no,
here's what's happening, right? And take this as woo, take this as anything, but modern life isn't working. It's just not.
No, there's some elements of modern life.
Oh, no. I'm not saying some elements.
Yeah.
I'm saying that look at the results of people.
Yeah.
We're unhappier than ever, so what's missing?
But are we really... I'm not quite sure about that one. There's people who were genuinely people have got it pretty easy.
Easy doesn't bring happiness, though.
Yeah.
They're not related.
People have got... people got clothes in their back. They've got food in their bellies. There's some dread or some. Have we been made to be unhappy, or would we all just be happy? Is social media making us unhappy? Or if there was no social media,
okay.
if we were at this stage now in humanity's development and with all the stuff we've got, but there was just telly, there was no internet, what would it be like?
This is what I started the whole fucking show with. I fell for it.
Yeah.
And you know what I fell for? You're supposed to care about everything. You're supposed to have opinion on everything. Someone says there's an opinion on Twitter, what do you think?
Yeah.
You're not allowed to say I don't know.
True.
You're not allowed to say I don't care.
Yeah.
You're not allowed to. Oh, you don't care? No. Not caring is not a lack of empathy.
I think if you don't get yourself involved, you're part of the problem.
Yes, that's not true. Here's a fact. You can't fix everything. Your opinion doesn't matter.
Saying that though, if you were to, I suppose you could say, oh God, an argument's always fucking ended if you talk about Nazis. But the rise to power, the rise to power of the Nazis, there was loads of moments that could have been stopped.
Right. That's different.
So if you saw something bubbling up, people maybe think they see tendencies, far-right tendencies in the society, and they're trying to do something about it. That's maybe, you don't want to discourage that.
No.
What about the global warming thing?
No.
The campaigner.
Me saying I don't care is not the same as a lack of empathy or action. There's just some areas.
Yeah.
There's just some areas where you've got to go, what's that to do with me?
Well, I worry about the Grand National every year.
Okay.
Because the horses keep breaking their legs.
It's awful.
But there's nothing I can do about it. I don't go, I don't bet, I don't go the horse racing. There's nothing I can really do about it.
But there's so many things that you can't do about it. And this could be interpersonal relationships. This could be... you've got to accept this, especially as a lot of guys watching this will understand, there's a lot put on men, and this is not woe is me, oh poor men, but you're meant to fix things. You're meant to know.
As soon as they invent a robot,
you don't know.
As soon as there's a robot that opens pickle jars, I might as well go for that walk at the beach.
In the field. I'll be
Let's
back.
Go and walk
I'll be
on that
with everyone else just walking out. No,
imagine you just go down to the beach one day and go. I think as a man, I think we're the end of our usefulness, and you go down to the beach and there's thousands of everyone's there. Well, like the whole lot of us are just going into the sea.
But what I'm saying, this is not other people expecting this from us.
Yeah.
This is us expecting it from ourselves, because you're maybe brought up a certain way, or you see the culture around you, and you're meant to fix, you're meant to know, you're meant to be, you're meant to, and maybe some days you just can't. That
fix the little things.
Normal.
Yeah. We've always spoke about small acts of kindness. Pick up your litter.
That's fine.
Help people out.
Yeah.
See somebody in a bit of trouble, help them. Small acts. If everyone did that on a global scale, how many? What's the population of the world?
8 billion at the moment.
If 8 billion people every day, everybody did something nice.
It'd be
sounds a bit namaste.
No,
but that would make a huge impact.
Yes, it's absolutely the only way it could be. When you
go out, say you are like, oh God, I hate the current government, I want the new government, whatever persuasion in, and you go out and you put fucking flyers through folks' doors and all that kind of stuff, the impact will be negligible. But if you did something quite nice, you could even do nice things out of a the whole, it's a selfish gene, isn't it? It's all, you could do a kind act without being a kind person.
That's right.
Because it benefits you.
That's right. Look,
so we need to convince pieces of shit to
you know where I got this about doing small things?
Yeah.
I went to the protests when it was before the Second Gulf War broke out.
Yeah.
And I went to them, and it was the only protests, anti-war protests in British history that had happened before a war.
Yeah.
It was the biggest protest in British history.
Yeah.
And we went to war.
Well, it made no difference.
But you know the day after it, where all the protests were, there was lots of rubbish, but volunteers went down and cleaned it up themselves.
Right.
From the protest.
The protesters shouldn't have.
The only thing that was achieved is that the streets were cleaned up. And that's what I learned from it, because we went to war.
The thing is, that soured people so much because it achieved nothing.
Yeah. It affected me, yeah.
Then nothing, people just dropped out of it, a malaise.
Yeah.
But the thing is, it did achieve something because it got gun shy about the Syrian war. They never went to Syria. But then the stuff happened in Syria that was fucking monstrous. Maybe needed intervention. It's fucking wild.
Things are a mess. Now, I'm not talking about apathy and dropping out of society and ignoring things, but realising as an individual, like you pick up rubbish yourself.
Yeah.
Realising as an individual, you can't fix, you can't care about every single thing. It becomes overwhelming. Now, even to the point where I felt I had a responsibility in myself to continue the things that I'm unable to do. I'm unable to do them. So I have to draw a line.
Yeah.
And it's like that. You have some things you just can't fix everything. You just can't do everything.
But we're bombarded. We're bombarded.
That's it. That's the point I'm making.
The good thing about having a microchip in your head which you will get. Plenty of space in the ID ears.
Oh,
You could have a switch that's filtered stuff out.
maybe we need that.
Yeah.
Now, you've said it a million times. There's too much
Information
too
and
much.
it's control of the information.
We're not
There's
getting...
never
yeah.
humanity's not doing more stuff.
Yeah.
We've always busy. We're
This
a busy
is
lot.
more peace in the world right now than
Yeah.
there's ever been.
Mm-hmm.
But you wouldn't think it.
No, you'd think it's
There's less violence in the streets than there's ever
Yeah.
been. You wouldn't think it.
Martin Lewis syndrome, man. People don't like good news. Doesn't sell.
It doesn't
If it
sell.
bleeds, it leads. It's true.
It's true.
It's
And
very
we
true.
talk about that. So sometimes you've just got to go, oh, here's another one. That's none of my business.
Mm-hmm.
I see some political points that are coming up, and it's not my business. It's like we're supposed to have an opinion on everything that happens. Now, we talk about things that happen in America because we're bombarded with it. But realistically, we have no right or opinion on what happens in America. But
Never
there's
been to
people
America.
here
They do have the bomb.
that are protesting
Mhm.
things that are happening in America.
Oh, they tried to immediately say America's problems are here exactly the same, and they're not.
They're not.
There's-
they're not.
We've got our own problems.
Our own problems.
Every country's unique. Yeah.
Yeah. But there was recently. Now I understand, the change in abortion laws in America. It's affecting a lot of people and all this sort of thing. Whatever side you're on.
Yeah.
But there's people here protesting that in America.
That's not ridiculous.
and you're like,
we've got access to abortion.
it's.
Yeah.
And I understand their empathy,
But
show support
the
on
abor-
whatever
but
side.
then it's all
Do
not-
whatever you
it's all
need to.
knock-on effect. So complicated. So the abortion thing,
Yeah.
but that has galvanised a lot of people to get political and maybe achieve. They may achieve more in the long run. It's fucking wild.
It's a complex.
It's too
thing.
complicated.
It's a complex
People,
thing.
I've always wondered the
I
arrogance.
think I'm really just speaking about myself at this
Yeah.
point in my life.
That's
is
all
that
you
I just
can.
need
That's
to.
all. To speak about anything else but yourself really is a height of arrogance. I don't know anybody.
I think
else.
that's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
I think that's what I'm trying to say.
All you've got.
I don't know. I'm not smart enough.
No.
I'm not. I like sometimes you'll get someone saying, "What's your opinion on this?" And for me to say, "I'd have to look into it. I don't know."
But imagine having the.
And they'll go, "No, but the right opinion's
Imagine-
this."
Imagine try to write an article about anything really.
It's almost impossible.
I'm just
now.
going to write a book about the Cold War. This is what happened.
It's
Fucking
not
hell.
possible.
How'd you do it?
It's not
I've no
possible.
idea.
I was watching a thing, and it was like, we all say someone died, but medical and technical death is, well, what is it? Is it when the lungs stop, the brain stops?
Yeah.
There's a nuance to it.
Mhm.
So even something we say every day is a finite thing.
Yeah.
It's so complex.
Yeah.
Right?
And then a dead body's not actually dead. It's full of life. It's wild.
It's right. Okay, you beat me to it. So
I do like that notion. Just everything's just keeps on going. It all
it started
mattered.
off with tits today and got really serious.
Yeah.
What's happened?
I try to watch more of that, The Witcher, and they've just removed
The
all
Witcher's
tits.
caused this.
They've removed all the tits.
Jesus, man, The Witcher caused this. This is terrible.
The first series of The Witcher was just full of tits.
No tits.
Well, no, really, no.
No, you got to see
Got rid of
tits. Is there dragons in it?
No. Well, there's no any beast. There's one creature that looked like a star-nosed mole.
Oh,
Fucking it scuttled about for 5 minutes, and that was it.
that was it.
Fuck's
Oh.
sake.
I've never seen it.
I watched a thing
Right.
called Special Ops Lionesses.
Okay, I've seen the clips. Is it bad?
Well, it's utterly wild. And I sat up in my chair going, what the flying fuck? Because it's simultaneously a Paramount are making it, so it's all about female empowerment.
Okay.
So in this world,
Mm-hmm.
the toughest soldier in the United States Marine Corps
Yeah.
is a wee skinny lassie.
Right. Okay.
And she can beat any other man. She's beyond. And it's the first 15 minutes are a crass recruitment poster for the Marines.
Oh, right. Okay.
A lassie, she's working at McDonald's. She's been a stripper. She goes back to her house. There's a bit where she goes in and her partner's like, boyfriend's like, you bitch. I said milkshake. You bitch. You stupid bitch. She's a bitch. They say bitch 40 times.
Okay.
She's had enough. She hits him with a frying pan. She runs out of the house.
Uh-huh.
She runs into the United States Marine Corps offices. A Marine saves her
saved her.
life and reaches out to her. So she joins the Marines. And it turns out she's the fucking toughest human being in the whole planet.
This is not
And
Zoe
Saldana, but it's not Zoe Saldana.
Oh, right.
Zoe Saldana is the toughest CIA operative in the world.
Okay.
But she lives in a giant house with their beautiful children, and they've got a massive swimming pool. And you're like, it was like all these things.
This is
militaristic, feminist. It's wild. Try and watch it.
It's not helping anyone. Here's a way of doing it. Why don't you go to the Marines and look at what a tough female Marine looks like?
Yeah.
And they're fucking monsters. They're fucking...
It's a skinny wee lad.
Yeah.
But she's infiltrating, like...
The truth's there.
Yeah,
use the truth.
Yeah. Is there women in the special forces?
I don't know. I would imagine...
The frontline troops.
I would imagine it would be ideal to have women that are operatives and...
Yeah. Oh, no.
Ideal.
But I'm speaking, is there women who are the guys that kick in the doors?
I don't know.
Was there a woman... Can I mean?
Yeah.
I don't know. Oh, fuck, women... God, the bravest women of the Second World War. There was lasses that went in behind enemy lines.
And famously,
Jesus Christ.
All the... Is it Mossad?
Yeah.
I think all the women in them are...
Bravery behind
crazy.
But like I say, it was this weird smashing of things together, and I was just like, "Fucking
why?"
hell.
But why does it stand out to you?
I don't know.
Why does it stand out?
I don't know.
Women that are soldiers, that sounds fine.
Yeah.
Someone had a bad life, so they went into the Marines because there was no other option. These are all true and fine. What's grating with you? What's the part? Is it just because it's a wee skinny girl and you go, hold on?
It pushes.
Why don't you have someone muscly?
It pushes you. But she's an infiltration officer. There is a thing called lionesses, and I think what it was when initially they were going into houses in Afghanistan, they needed females there to pat down the women.
Yeah, okay.
You couldn't have the Navy SEALs patting down women. I think that. But what this show is saying is it went beyond that, and these were deep cover operatives and all kinds of stuff. But in the show. There's other things as well. She's a Mexican girl, I believe, Latino girl, but they're saying in the show she's part Arab. She's her dad, maybe used the term Persian or something, I'm not sure. But she's got to infiltrate this terrorist organisation by befriending the daughter.
Okay.
So they're in the United Arab Emirates, and she's to accidentally bump into her in a watch shop or something and befriend her. Now, in reality, this Arab lassie would immediately look at her and go, "You're not an Arab. There's something going on here." Yeah. But in this thing, she's completely... the whole thing just...
Your suspension of this, it's just not worked.
It's not worked. It's
not
all
worked.
ridiculous in many levels. But it's played off in this very gung-ho, it's very gritty, and it's like realistic. And poor old Morgan... Freeman shows up at something, and he's like an elderly man now.
If Morgan Freeman appears in anything now, it's junk.
It's junk, yeah.
So I now know it's rubbish.
But Zoe Saldana, in the space of like 2 years, I watched 5 minutes of a show she'd previously done where now Zoe Saldana's a beautiful girl, but she's 40 odd.
Yeah.
She's in a show where she goes to Italy as a student, and you're supposed to believe she's 18.
Oh, like you say, stunning. You're not 18.
You're not
pet.
18.
You're not 18, pet. You're just not like me, a mere teenager. I got all serious today.
Well, not serious, but the
frustration.
Okay, here we go.
Okay,
but the show's done like this is revolutionary. Look at us going on about these tough women.
Okay,
have you seen Alien 2?
I know
that lassie is the toughest. You've got fucking Sigourney Weaver's in it, who's tough as fuck, and then there's Vasquez. Who's the toughest looking woman you've ever seen?
Fuck it, kills herself.
So it's all been done.
Crazy.
I don't recall Alien 2 going, oh my God, girl power. Look at this, two of these. It never happened. It was just a thing. Can we not just go back to doing things that are just a thing and you allow people to make your own opinions about stuff?
That's the politicizing
Can that please just happen?
It's
Can it
tiring.
not just happen?
That's what it is. That's what I said. It's frustration, man. It's frustration.
And films are just it's killing film because it's just they're caught in this soup of shite. Like Indiana Jones failed miserably.
Yeah.
Because I believe there was some kind. I've not seen the film, but they tried to push the new lassie from Fleabag, and it just all ground out of itself. And then weirdly, Barbie's done hugely well because basically. It's like what they call an open Barbie or something.
Yeah.
So people are going to see both films on the same day. Mm-hmm. This is a stupid thing.
It's a stupid thing.
I like the stupid thing. I like the fact.
Well,
come and see these films.
That's fair. The stupid thing's human.
Yeah.
The stupid thing's fun and silly.
Yeah.
And there's no political. Because the thing is, you could have seen people being political about Barbie. Fuck them. It's nonsense.
No.
But where's all the people being political about Oppenheimer?
Plus, Oppenheimer's got boobs in it.
And yeah, he
There's no boobs in
the
Barbie.
Birds of Prey that brought this world almost to destruction.
Yeah.
No, it's good.
But there's somebody wrote an article. There's an article in the Guardian.
It's just
I
a
think
film.
It was going
Enjoy
about,
it.
It's saying about Oppenheimer. It says, the big problem with the Oppenheimer project is the Mexicans who had, because the place where they tested the bomb, those people lived there and they just threw them out. Then they took them back as second-class citizens, and you're like, they
it
dropped
never
a fucking they dropped
ends.
they dropped. Everybody's got to get their bit in.
Yeah,
I'm attached to this story. It's me, my ancestry, my people, my neighbour. We suffered more. It's everybody's got to get a chunk of the cake.
This has happened, and I can end this podcast with something.
Can you?
I've always talked about how Restless Natives, a great film,
wonderful film,
captured what it is to be a young man in Scotland.
Scottish pathetic.
And if you watch it now, it still attaches young men in Scotland, right?
And another one as well, which captures the young Gregory's Girl.
Yes.
Gregory's Girl, a young, gormless Scottish.
But Restless Natives, American director. And I've always said this American director captured perfectly what it was, because he could stand back and look rather than being in it. And he got a clarity, right? I heard recently someone saying it should have been a Scottish director to do that because it would have captured Scottish people properly.
It's madness.
Completely wrong. But you see how they're jumping on it.
No,
a 40-year-old film.
Yeah,
it's perfect.
People say the AI is going to destroy creativity.
Yeah.
No, it's not. It's creativity is going to be destroyed by the act of imagination. Is a dirty word now, because you can't write a novel on some subject unless all we're going to have for the rest of the time is autobiographies.
Yeah.
Because you're not allowed to comment on anything that doesn't involve you.
That's right.
If you make a war film, were you in the war? No. Acting's gone. Because you can't act anything. You can't pretend to be anybody.
I think this will, because when you say woke, I suppose I'm more on the side of woke than not.
Oh yeah, no.
But this silliness will pass.
Yeah.
It's
a bit of a fever.
It's a bit
and it'll balance itself out. But yeah,
it's a moral panic.
Everybody says no, but
I think it'll pass.
I should be in kind of a movie's you want to get a star in a film because the star's a bankable star. But they say now, oh no, you've got to get a real disabled person playing a role. And you're like, that's very worthy. But that unknown disabled person's not a bankable star.
Yeah. Matt Damon got it for The Great Wall. Attacked, whitewashing, terrible, racist.
It's a Chinese
film. It's a Chinese film.
Largely with a Chinese cast.
Done everything they could to get him in it. Because they wanted to sell it in America and have a star.
And they still criticised
And he was
criticised.
It's a terrible film. It's a terrible film. But it's not what happened. It's just everyone needs to settle down.
I listened to an interesting
just
one
relax.
at BBC iPlayer. And I think we've discussed this before. It's monsters. So if someone is terrible, can you still listen to the music of Michael Jackson?
That's right. Yeah, this is.
And at the end of it, I think the woman basically says, "Well, you kind of have. You can.
Yeah, you can."
It's funny how some people have been cancelled completely, like Lost Prophets. You want to get Lost Prophets?
No, you'll never get that again.
Gary Glitter's pretty much been removed from everything. But Michael Jackson, I know there was he got off with it, but he's as guilty as sin.
Ambiguities can be very. God, ladies and gentlemen,
so
thanks for joining us on our comedy podcast.
No, but it's just all this is about is things we encounter in our lives.
That's all it is.
And I hope let's just reach out to us. But are you feeling the same? It's not that we are just two old geezers and we're becoming frustrated with things. It's not. It's there's things I've noticed. It's hard to navigate. I'm getting confused. No amount of cups of tea. And is there? I don't know if we've got a few young listeners. Let us know how you're thinking about all of this. How's you?
One of our young listeners sent us a framed pube.
A pube. So I think they're struggling as well.
They're struggling as well. We're all in trouble.
But do they just go fuck it and ignore it?
Do you want to know why they can't?
The Hugh Edwards thing. I saw those like Vox Pops are interviewing young people on the street and they're like, a young guy's getting money off selling pictures of his cock. So what?
I don't care.
It didn't impact on them at all.
Do you want to know why?
Why?
Right? Here's what happens in life. Your children, every day is a lifetime because you're learning. You've never seen it
Remember
before.
when you're 10 years old, you thought, I've been alive for a decade.
It doesn't make any sense. It's
wild. Yeah.
You get to 18, 10 years ago, you're an adult, but 10 years ago, you were 8.
8, yeah.
Then you get to a stage in your mid-20s, the frontal lobe kicks in. And you start learning. You start not being so silly. You start...
Now I've got to be serious.
Things start collating. And then as you get older, you see things, as we've discussed before, repeating again and stuff like that. And sometimes it gets frustrating. Sometimes you watch the world do silly things, but you know it doesn't need to.
No.
You know it could be avoided.
I know when
It's frustrating.
I know when somebody's trying to sell me something.
Yeah.
And even a good thing. I don't like it. I don't like the hard sell for anything.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Uh-huh.
I like to come up with my own opinions. I'd like to think I'm a fairly decent person, politically and everything, liberal-minded about stuff. But even sometimes you're like, don't try so hard.
Right? That's
you get me.
But then you get to the next stage of life.
40s.
No, we'll just jump ahead. Old people.
Oh, yeah.
And you notice old people will go, things are happening, they go, don't worry about it.
No,
it's not because they're losing their mind and they're childlike. They've went full circle and they've freed their minds from this nonsense that bogs us down.
Catches us up.
They're still political. They've still got their opinions. They're still empathetic. They still want to change the world. They want the better for young people. But there's some things they go, what? That's nothing to do with me.
No.
It's not my worry. They've evolved. And the old people are getting treated like children. They're not. They're in evolution.
There's a Twitter
That's
thing
what
I
I'm
read the
hoping.
other day, and somebody said that David Bellamy had been cancelled. Somebody said he wasn't cancelled, he died.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's 10. We're 10 minutes over.
Well, I'm going to have to get some juice because we're doing another one of these. Jesus, I might get my juice in my sausages.
You brought the sausages with you?
Ta-ta.
Wait, you brought the meat with you?
Oh, yeah, I'll pick it while I'm on the next one.
Oh, my God. Later.
Ta-da, ta-da.